Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time of the day you're actually watching this stream. Welcome to Slowpoke Racing and to the Ultimate Racing League. Excuse me. This is our Sunday championship. Now, it's a bit of a sad day. It's also a very happy day. It's a sad day because we've reached the final race of the current season. We are at round 10. So what a fantastic season it's been. So that's the sad part. But the happy part is there'll be a new season starting in a few weeks' time. So we've got that to look forward to. Fantastic. Happy days. But on to this one. Now then, I'm just going to run quickly down the table. We're with the Pro Split 2 guys. So just one below the top league. So these guys fighting for a chance to race up there with the big boys. So let's have a quick look at the league table, shall we, going into this race. Now, we've got in fifth position on 186 points, we've got Mika. What a great season he's had. In fourth, we've got Stubbs on 200 points. Not a lot separating those two. Nath is in third. He's on 263 points. Then we've got a little bit of a gap then to second place, Dan. He's on the 304 points. He had a fantastic first part of the season during the sprint races. He was virtually unstoppable. But leading the board at the minute is Gower on 315 points. So what's that? 11 points ahead of Dan. And it really has been a season of two halves, really, because, as I say, Dan, very quick, almost dominant in the first part of the season with the sprints, but then Gower, as soon as we hit the endurance races, Gower really found his form, and it's been win after win after win for Gower. So he's had a fantastic second half of the season, and that's why they're so close. 11 points separating them. The thing on Gower's mind is, though, all he's got to do is finish ahead of Dan, and that's job done. Championship won. So, yeah, it's going to be a good race. We're on one of the new courses that was introduced a month or so ago. Maybe longer than that, actually. Quite a few months ago now. Gilles-Villeneuve. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. But we'll go on about the track in a minute. Just a couple of things I do want to say before I get started on this race. I do want to say a massive thank you to Silly Shot for doing the points. He does the points for nearly every league we run, and I know it is pretty time consuming, actually. I think once he's got it set up, it's a bit of spreadsheet magic, but nevertheless, you've still got to input the numbers and stuff. So a massive thank you to Silly Shot for that. Also, I want to say thank you to the admin guys, if you're listening, for organising these races. They're not easy to organise. I've tried doing it myself. You've got to sort the tracks out. You've got to sort the weather out. You have to sort the tyre and the fuel settings out. So there's a lot goes into it. So a real appreciation to the admin guys for getting us these races. I also want to say a big thank you to Nath and Dan for sharing the races between them this season. I've said it nearly every single week, but if the guys don't save and share the replays, then we can't bring them to you. So I do appreciate that. So thank you very much. And the other thing is, I do want to say thank you to all the drivers on the grid and those that couldn't make it tonight as well, because it's been a fantastic season. You've all been brilliant. There has been some fantastic thrills and spills, a lot of spills, which you know I love. It just makes me chuckle watching the spills sometimes. You know I love that. So yeah, thank you to everybody. So if I don't get a chance to talk to any of you individually, I just want to say a big good luck to every one of you, whatever league you are in next season. So that's all the soppy bit out of the way. Let's crack on, shall we, and have a look where everybody is so we can get this race underway and we can see if it's going to be Gower or is it going to be Dan that takes that crown at the end of the race. So let's get my usual, let's not break any habits now. Let's get the usual camera angle and have a look. So Nath has put himself, he's going to try and upset the old apple cart, isn't he? He's got himself on pole position with championship leader Gower just settled in behind him in second. So good position actually for Gower, but he's got Dan tucked right underneath him as well. So this is going to be a fantastic fight to the end. Mika, he's in there as well. Remember, he is fifth, I think, in the Where's my little thing gone? Yeah, Mika is 5th in the league, so he's in there as well, battling away. Then we've got Silly Shot in 5th. We've got Bloomfield in 6th. Stubbs is in 7th. Where is he? He's 4th in the league, so some decent points up, some grabs for Stubbs. He's got a few cars in the way though, but I'm sure he can work his way through that. Grasshopper in 8th, Brian Moncarney in 9th, and P. White in 10th. So only 10 on the grid then, quite a few missing. We've had a couple of had to retire, and one I do know, Harry Poppins has had to pull out of the race through illness, so we wish him a speedy recovery. So, the track. We are in Canada, Quebec, Montreal. We are on the island of Notre Dame, or Notre Dame Island, as they like to call it up there. 2.7 miles, 14 turns. Now, for those that have not raced this track, I actually feel like I've been camped here for weeks. I raced here on Wednesday. I did a comms replay for the Wednesday race as well. So I not only raced it, I covered it on the following day, and a couple of days later, actually. Then we did on Friday night, we did a team versus team, and this was one of the tracks. I raced here again on Sunday myself. So yeah, it feels like I've just been camping here. It is a great track. It is a fantastic track, actually. As I say, 14 turns. It is a very technical track. There is a very long straight, the Casino Straight, which is 0.73 of a mile long, down towards the final chicane, and a very famous Wall of Champions. Now, the Wall of Champions, named after Damon Hill, Schumacher, and Jacques Villeneuve, all crashed there in 1999. I'll give you a little bit more information about the track as we go around, but yeah, fantastic track. So let's get this race underway, shall we? The final race of our Sunday Championship. Grid start as normal. There is a rumour we may be going back to rolling starts next season, but that remains to be seen, doesn't it? As Nath gets us away with Gower and Dandan in hot pursuit as we head towards turn 1 and turn 2. Turn 2 a bit tricky, actually, because it's a bit of a sweeping right-hander, as you can see there, and the temptation is to get your foot on the noisy pedal very early, which can push the car wide, but it looks like everybody's done a great job of getting through there. Then we're into the first chicane then at turn 3 and 4. This track is very, very tight. Overtaking is, there's not many opportunities, actually. So we've gone through turn 5. Now we're up to turn 6 and 7. Oh, as Gower spun the race. Oh, the championship leader has spun. That is not the start he wanted, so let's go back and have a look and see what's happened. Now then, did he go off on his own, or was he given a little bit of a nudge there? He's got Mika behind him. Dandan's dropped down a spot. Mika has made his way up into 3rd, so great start for Mika. And now let's have a look, see what's happened. Oh, it was Mika. Mika just gave Gower a little bit of a touch there and sent him onto the grass. Mika, well, he's obviously being paid off by Dandan, and he's done his job very early. Mika's pulled over. He's done the right thing and pulled over, but unfortunately both of them are right down at the back now in 9th and 10th. That is so unfortunate. I'm sure it wasn't done on purpose. It was just a bit of a missed breaking point. Everybody's still getting used to this track, but wow, championship leader and 4th place already down to, 5th place in the championship, already down to 9th and 10th and playing catch up. Mika on the mediums, Gower on the mediums as well. Wow, not the start they wanted. It's put a big smile on Nate's face, but more importantly, look at the smile on Dandan's face. Well, you can't see him. I'm sure we can't. Let's have a look, see if we can see him in that car. No, he's got the dark visor on just in case the sun comes out, but Dandan will be smiling because well, he's at one end of this race, and his closest rival, championship leader, is at the other end, and that's exactly what Dandan wants. So poor old Gower got a lot of fighting to do now, but let's have a look down the list. Stubbs has made his way up into 3rd after all that chaos as we start lap 2. So Stubbs going from about 7th, I think he wasn't he, on the grid? He's now up to 3rd, so good start from him on the medium tyres as well. Then we've got Grasshopper, he's moved up into 4th. Bloomfield in 5th, P. White 6th, Brian Moncarney, Silly Shot Gower and then Mika, the two unfortunates at the back there. But you can see Gower already trying to push and make a place up on Silly Shot. He is right up the chuff of Silly Shot. Let's go on board with Gower. He is desperate to get back up there amongst the leaders, isn't he? As I say, this track very, very tight, very few opportunities to make a pass. You've got to rely on the guy in front to make a mistake, or at least open the door for you a little bit. And Silly Shot is going to make it easy for him, is he? As we now head towards turn 10, we go through this hairpin. It's the slowest corner on the track. As you can see, they really do have to slow down to around 50 miles an hour to get around that hairpin turn. Then it's back on the power again. Now we're on this long straight, heading down towards the final chicane. We might as well stay with Gower as we follow him through turn 12 on the casino straight under the GT billboards there, and then it's into the braking zone and into this chicane. And we couldn't quite see it there, but that's where the wall is. So Gower and Mika still down there in 9th and 10th. Back up to the top though, and Nath already starting to open up a small gap back to Dan. All on the medium tyres, it looks like. Yeah, we've got Stubbs in third. He's also on the mediums. Now remember, they do have to use all three dry tyre compounds. That's the soft, mediums and hard in these endurance races. I don't think we're going to get any rain. Weatherman says not, so hopefully it's nice and dry and sunny for these guys as we follow Grasshopper. Getting a good purple sector in sector 1 as we go through turn 6 and 7 there, heading towards this what is it, the third chicane. Actually, there's 4 chicanes on this track. We're going to the third chicane, so under the bridge then into the braking zone as we hit turns 8 and 9. A very nasty turn, that one. We will do a lap with somebody in a minute so you can see how bad they are. But look at the battle we've got going on here as Brian Moncarney, Silly Shot and Gower battle it out. Gower has made a spot up and moved up into 8th. Brian Moncarney, oh, he's just losing out there to Silly Shot. Gower as well, trying to go around the outside of the hairpin. Oh, Silly Shot just scraping the wall. Manages to keep himself in front of Gower. Gower, though, manages to get by Brian Moncarney and moves himself up into 7th and gets into the slipstream of Silly Shot as they come down the casino straight towards that wall of champions and that final chicane. I'm not so sure Gower's close enough to make a move now, or even mad enough, shall we say. You can definitely not go through there twice too wide as Silly Shot could pick a penalty up there as he cut that line he just couldn't get it slowed down, I don't think. Let's have a look at Silly Shot. He just seemed to cut the first part of the chicane, so missed his braking point probably. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, just couldn't quite get the car to turn in. So we'll just keep an eye on him to see whether he does get a penalty. But what it has done is allowed Gower to slip on through and up into 6. Silly Shot might have got away with it, actually. I think if he lifted off the accelerator, he may have just got away with that one. So it looks like he has. But more importantly, Gower moves through to 6. Silly Shot in 7th. Brian Moncarney is in 8th with Mika in 9th. P. White is down in 10th, so he's obviously had a bit of an issue. Sorry we missed that one, but he's now down in 10th. But everybody's still pretty bunched up, actually. No real gaps starting to appear. Yes, there's a gap between Nath and Dan at the minute, but it's still not a massive gap. Although Nath is trying to stretch his legs a little bit. He wants just a little bit more comfortable than that, doesn't he? So these two out on their own. No real pressure coming from Stubbs in 3rd, although he's not got that luxury with Grasshopper getting ever closer to him. Now, we were looking at the tyres, weren't we? Bloomfield in 5th at the minute. He's on the hard tyres, so this is a good opening few laps for him on those hards. As you can see, he's got Gower chasing him down. Gower is on the mediums, and he's desperate to get up to the guys up at the front. So I don't think Bloomfield's really going to fight this position for too long, because Gower has got the softer rubber at each corner of his car. Bloomfield just doing his own thing, doing his strategy as he bumps across him again. Oh, and you can see Bloomfield almost scrape that wall. Gower got a much better entry and exit out of that final chicane and moves up into 5th. So Gower then having a fantastic race, isn't he? Apart from that bump at the very beginning, he's gone from 9th to 5th now and chasing after Grasshopper. Bloomfield in 6th. Silly Shot in 7th. He's on the mediums, so looking to nick a spot away from Bloomfield as well. But I think Bloomfield's the only guy on hard tyres actually. Brian Moncani, he's on the mediums. Mika also on the mediums. Oh, and P. White, he's on the hard. So we've got Bloomfield and P. White starting on the hard tyres. They have to do a minimum of 3 laps. Well, in the GR3s, you're going to do a little bit more than that because the tyres do tend to wear out a bit quicker. Although, having said that, it's been proven in the races that I've covered, actually, that tyre wear, this track isn't that harsh on your tyres. So you can actually go a little bit further into these races. It's not a tyre killer, not like the, is it the Yamigiwa? That absolutely shreds your tyres in the first couple of laps. This one at the Gilles-Villeneuve is not that bad. So Nate's still out in front then. Let's have a look. Gower's got the fastest lap at the minute at 1:38.5. We can see that Nath, his last lap was 1:39.5. Let's see if he can improve on that as he crosses the start finish line. Yes, he can, and takes the fastest lap actually at 1:38.2. for Nath then, so he's settled into this race quite quickly, hasn't he? Dandan just sitting there behind him, he's got a 38.3, so only 1/10 off the pace of Nath, so Dandan staying with Nath. Then we've got Stubbs, he's got a 38.8, so these top 3 very close to each other, only 6/10 separating Stubbs from Nath, who's out there in the lead at the minute. Then we've got Grasshopper, his fastest so far is a 39.1. So he's about a second off of the pace of Nath, but still having a good race so far is Grasshopper as they go around 6 and 7, turn 6 and 7, the third of the chicanes. Second of the chicane, oh I don't know, there's that many chicanes, I get them all mixed up. So yeah, start to spread out, not a massive battle taking place anywhere at the minute. We can see Gower just catching up to the back of Grasshopper. Bloomfield's still in 7th. He is being mugged a little bit, but then again he is on those hard tyres. We've got Brian Moncani chasing him down. Then we'll jump on board with Brian Moncani as we get into turn 10 at the hairpin. This is the island hairpin. Back on the power as quickly as he possibly can into the slipstream of Bloomfield. A quick look behind us. Mika's there, but not threatening at the minute. We'll just stay with Brian to see whether he makes a move on Bloomfield, although he's running out of track really. I think it's yeah, it's the right thing to do, Brian. He's just back out of that one because he would have been in a very awkward position hitting this chicane with those 2 high curbs. So Brian just still settling for 8th position. Mika getting a lot closer to him now with P. White still down there in 10th, but he's not out of touch. He's still in this race, is P. White. So what we'll do is we'll jump on board hopefully on the next lap. So let's have a look, see if we can find, is anybody actually fighting for a position. Bloomfield holding on to 7th with Brian Moncani just behind him. He is getting closer, isn't he, Brian Moncani? But as I say, overtaking it is, it's as rare as hen's teeth on here. It is very, very tight track. As you can see, those Jags looking very wide on it as well. So you've got to wait for a mistake. Bloomfield going very deep into the final turn there at turn 7, which has allowed Brian Moncani to almost get alongside him. Now it is a case of who's latest on the brakes as they go under the bridge. Oh, and Bloomfield just managed to stay in front. Brian Moncani really pushing hard though now. He desperately needs to get by before he starts to lose grip with those medium tyres. He's trying to get himself alongside Ethan Bloomfield as they head towards turn 10 and the hairpin. Brian Moncani taking the tighter inside line, although we've seen it before. There is plenty of grip around the outside, but Brian Moncani gets it done. Bloomfield on those harder tyres just has to settle for 8th, although he's fighting back now. Mika is sitting there as well in 9th. He's looking for a gap as it is side by side towards the hairpin. One of them's going to have to back out. And I'm guessing it's going to be Bloomfield that's going to back out. He is slightly behind Brian. Yeah, there we go. All 3 of them very safely through. Fantastic racing from those guys. I know there are a few that would not have yielded there and it would have gone all sorts of wrong. But what a fantastic battle we've got going on here. Brian Moncani now moves up into 7th. with Mika trying to attack Bloomfield, but we're getting into the part of the track where it is almost impossible to pass. So Mika is just going to be a little bit frustrated for a little bit longer as they go through turns 1 and 2. Sorry, I'll get there in a minute. 3 and 4, I think they've just gone through. Yeah, this is 3 and 4. Then they go through 5, 6 and 7, which is the second of the chicanes. 8 and 9 is the third, and then 13 and 14 is the fourth. I got confused about this on Wednesday as well. There's that too many chicanes on this track. Come on, Canada, sort it out. Straighten one of them out. As Mika gets himself in a bit of a mess, and he's managed to get the job done on Bloomfield, but it was all not the cleanest, was it? As Bloomfield gets himself on the inside again, and on those hard tyres, takes a much tighter line. So Bloomfield moves up into 8th, although Mika can now get his foot down. We're just going to stay with these guys. So Mika on the outside as they get down towards this chicane. Again, this is going to be tight. No, Mika's just pulled in behind Bloomfield. No, he's having another quick look. Bloomfield sticking to his line, and Mika just having to slot in behind him. Again, very sensible racing. So you know what? So let's jump on board with Mika, shall we? And we'll do a full lap with Mika while we're chasing Bloomfield. So across the start finish line into turn 1, the left-hander. This is almost a chicane, isn't it? Into turn 2, which is the centre curve, and I think Mika might just get the job done on Bloomfield here. He's got himself alongside as they go through towards turn 3, and then turn 4, the first. Oh, Mika getting a little bit squirrely there. Through turn 5, then up towards turn 6 and 7. The next chicane on the list. A quick look behind us, and there is Bloomfield as Mika gets the job done. Then it is, well, not a long straight, but a decent straight under the bridge, and then we are into turns 8 and then 9, the left-hander. Very, very tight chicane, that one. And now it is a good run up towards turn 10, the hairpin bend. This is a good overtaking opportunity, as we've seen. If you can get yourself on the inside of the guy you're racing with, take that tighter line, but you sacrifice a little bit of exit speed. But Mika doing a good job there, and now we're on to the Casino Straight as we go through turn 12. But you wouldn't even notice it's a turn. It's almost a straight line, isn't it? All the way down here, under the bridge, into the braking zone, and then it is the right and left. And then if you look to the right, there is the wall that is now called the Wall of Champions, where the likes of Damon Hill, Schumacher and Jacques Villeneuve all crashed their car in 99, and that's why they renamed it. I think it used to be called something like the Notre Dame Wall or something like that. So this track, as we know, is the circuit Gilles-Villeneuve. It was originally called something like the Notre Dame, Circuit de Notre Dame. It was renamed after the untimely death of Canada's favourite driver, Gilles Villeneuve, in 1978, so they renamed it in his honour. It is, of course, obviously home of the F1 Grand Prix. It's the 7th race on the F1 calendar, in between I think it is Miami and Monaco. So a lot of history with this track. So let's have a look and see what's happening up at the top then. We've not visited Nath for a while. He's just out there enjoying the sunshine and enjoying the drive. Now let's have a look. Where's Dandan? Well, Dandan's still there, so that gap is just about maintained, isn't it, between the two of them? They're both in the 38s. Nath's last lap was a 1:38.5. Dandan was a 38.9, so only 4 tenths off. Oh, as Dandan clipped that wall. Let's just have a quick look and you can see what this wall is all about. Oh, he didn't clip it, he just managed to avoid it. So good car control from Dan, but you can see the what happens when you get across those big sausage curbs. It can really upset the car. Now Gower's made his way up into third. He's got quite a lot of work to do actually to catch up to Dan and Nath, but what a fantastic recovery drive from Gower. While we've been doing the track, showing you around the track and everything, Gower has just gone about his business, made his way up into third. He's got by Silly Shot. Now I think I did see somebody has come into the pitch. Yeah, Bloomfield with the hard tyres. So lap 10, Bloomfield has decided enough is enough, and he's coming in to get a change of tyre. So Nate's still out in front. Where's Gower? There he is. There's Gower still in third, chasing these boys down. Bit of a gap though, but well, if anybody can do it, Gower can. Silly Shot in fourth. This is a good race from him, although the fuel light's starting to flash now. That's something I didn't look at. Let's have a look. Nath has been looking after the fuel, so has Dan. Gower has, surprisingly enough, the way he's making his way through the grid, you thought he'd just be giving it full beans, but he has been looking after the fuel. Silly Shot, on the other hand, as well, he must have left the petrol cap off, because the fuel has gone down very, very quickly in Silly Shot's car, or he has just left his lead boot on that accelerator pedal for a lot longer than maybe he should have done. But Silly Shot is going to have to come into the pits now to get some fuel. Let's have a look. Grasshopper, he's okay for fuel, probably one more lap out of that car. Brian Moncarney, another one with the fuel light flashing. Stubbs is okay at the minute, so is Mika. P. White has just made a pit stop. He's now out on the medium tyres, although there is quite a gap actually between P. White and Mika in 8th. And then Bloomfield also has just made a stop. He's on the softs now and a full tank of fuel, and there we can see Silly Shot into the pit as these boys, P. White and Bloomfield, are only just coming up to the hairpin bend. So yeah, quite a lot of catching up to for them to do. You can see the fuel going into Silly Shot's car. This is not a big long pit stop. Well, it didn't feel it anyway when I did it on Wednesday, but then again I didn't have to fuel up. So yeah, Silly Shot taking a full tank of fuel. Let's have a look. Where is P. White? He's just coming down the casino straight now, heading towards that chicane. I've got a feeling that Silly Shot is going to get out on track ahead of P. White. Yeah, Silly Shot on his way out now. We're just going to follow him out of the pit. Not a bad pit to exit actually, although this is a bit tricky here. Just you've got to stay away from that white line, and there we can see P. White just coming into turn 2 now. So Silly Shot back out in 8th position, P. White in 9th, and Bloomfield in 10th. All three guys at the back have made a pit stop within the last lap or two. So Nath out in front. He's going to have to come in now. He's on the casino straight as well. So Nath, the fuel light is on for him. So time for him to come in and get a change of tyres. It will probably be the situation as well for Dan. We're on lap 12 of 29. So we'll just keep an eye on this to see whether they do come. No, they're not. They're not coming in. Wow, Nath has decided, even with that fuel light flashing, Nath has decided he's going to stay out. Dan's going to stick with him and just follow Nath around. Gower is in. So is Grasshopper, Brian Moncarney, Stubbs are all into the pits then at the end of lap 12. Silly Shot already done his pit stop, the same as P. White and Bloomfield, although they are quite a decent distance behind. Although this could give them the opportunity to get a little bit closer to the pack. The fuel going into the cars of the guys in the pit lane at the minute. Nath has stayed out. He's going to have to be careful of that fuel now. The last thing you wanted to be doing is running out of fuel. There is still a fair way to go actually, as he goes around turns 8 and 9. He's the final, not the final chicane. Final chicane, well, it will be the final chicane for them this lap, because the pit entry is actually down at the bottom of the casino straight, just before, instead of turning right into the chicane, you will stay straight on and go into the pits. So yeah, Nath, he's got to be a little bit careful. Let's just have a look. Is he short shifting? Yes, he really is short shifting as well. He is sipping at that fuel. So is Dan. He's going to have to start sipping at it as well, because as I say, the last thing you want to be doing is running out of fuel before you've made any changes. But here we go into the pits. The two leaders go. Nath is in, Dan in. Time for a change of tyres and some fuel. Mika, he's going to come in as well. He is about out, so he's probably he's going to be coasting into the pits, I think. Wow, he has timed that to absolute perfection, hasn't he? He probably got, what, a few yards left in that fuel tank. So Gower then, Gower, who's currently sitting in third, he's already made a pit stop. And he's coming down to the end of the Casino Straight. He's getting into that final chicane, and it looks like Nath is out. We're going to stay with Gower because Dan I think is out as well. You can just see them up ahead, actually. If we go on board with Gower as we hit turn 1, yeah, Nath is out, Dan is out, so Gower continues through us in third position, but I think he's a little bit closer to them than he was. Let's have a look. There is a bit of a gap, but it is closing. So Gower, he's on the hard tyres as well. Let's have a look and see what Dan and Nath, they've done exactly the same thing. So for the second stint of this race, both Nath, Dan are onto the hard tyres, the same as Gower. Mika, he's gone for the hard tyres as well. So is Brian Moncani. So everybody's saving the soft tyres for the last stint. Brian Moncani getting a lot closer to Mika now, starting to put a little bit of pressure on him. Brian Moncani pitted, did he pit a lap earlier? He's got slightly less fuel. Maybe he just put less fuel in, I can't remember now. But Brian Moncani, this is more like it from Brian Moncani. We've really not seen what he's capable of this season. Seems to have struggled, actually. Whether it's the car, whether it's the tracks, I don't know. But Brian just seems a little bit out of sorts this season. But he's coming strong at the end, isn't he? And this is what we want to see from the likes of Brian Moncani. He's in fifth, he's pushing hard to get that P4 away from Mika, so he's really putting the pressure onto the Casino Straight then. Let's have a look, see what kind of speeds we're getting down here before we hit the braking zone. We're about 152, 154, 155 miles an hour we topped there before we're able to slam the brakes on and chuck ourselves across those sausage curbs. So Brian Moncani keeps up the pressure on Mika. Grasshopper in 6, he's on the hard tyres as well now. Silly shot, it looks like everybody's gone for the hards. Bloomfield has already done the hard tyres, he's onto a set of softs, so he's got the mediums to look forward to for the final run in towards the end of the race. But Bloomfield now starting to make a little bit of headway. Now he's on some softer compound tyres. In 8th and looking at the back of Silly Shot. So Bloomfield hoping to make up a space or two ahead of him. While he's got those soft tyres though, they do look like they're wearing out quite quickly. So he needs to get a hurry up, get past Silly Shot before he switches to the mediums, because a lot of the guys around him are going to be on those soft tyres. Same with P. White. Oh, P. White's saving the softs as well. He's onto a set of mediums, but he could do with pushing a little bit harder, get himself further up the grid before switching to the final set of tyres, but he will have the softs. Let's have a look at Stubbs. Stubbs is on the hards as well, so he's saving the softs. So a lot of the guys, there's only 1 or 2 of them now that are not going to be on the soft tyres at the end of the race. Stubbs down in 10th, that must be after a pit stop. He is on the hard tyres. Oh, as the back end decides to come round, but he caught it well. Good car control from Stubbs. Wins the day for the best livery, I think. It's a shame Harry Poppins isn't here. I love Harry Poppins livery. I know I say it every week. Maybe it's a bit of a pink and black thing, I don't know. But Stubbs' car does look cool, doesn't it? You've got to admit that. So Stubbs down in 10th then, playing catch up at the minute. Now then, let's have a look. We are on lap 16 of 29. So they've got to do a minimum of 3 laps on each compound. We've seen that the guys on the hard tyres went to about lap 10. So though I'm not sure that's going to be the case for Nath. I think Nath, Dan Gower, the likes may come in a little bit sooner than that. I can't remember what the soft tyres they went. I can't remember now. But I'm sure these boys will be changing these hard tyres pretty quickly, actually, getting onto the softer compound. 13 laps to go, so I'm guessing they're going to go and try and do around about 8 or 9 laps on the softs. Well, they can push hard, but at the minute we're following Gower, who is trying to play catch up to Dan and Nath, and it does look like he's getting closer actually. we might get a shot of it now. As oh, I thought we were going to have a look down the casino straight there and hopefully see the guys up ahead, but no, it's not going to let us. See if we can see the, yeah, there we go. We can just about see Gower's green car just behind Dan. Dan doing a fantastic job in second at the minute, sticking within distance of Nath. That gap not really getting any bigger, not big enough as far as Nath's concerned. So let's have a run down the grid, shall we? Mika in fourth position at the minute. He's followed by Brian Moncani. Still, Brian, as he slams it across those sausage curves. Very fortunate that the car didn't go sideways on him there, because he really did hit it hard, didn't he? Grasshopper in sixth, with Bloomfield in tow in seventh, then Silly Shot in eighth, P White 9 and Stubbs in 10th. So not a lot happening actually, unfortunately for us. Let's try and find, I think this is as close as we're going to get to a battle, I think, with Mika and Brian Moncani. Let's just have a look and see a little bit further down. Yeah, Bloomfield and Grasshopper. Bloomfield on the softs, although they are really starting to show some signs of wear, so Bloomfield is going to start to struggle a little bit now on those soft tyres. You can see the wear still really starting to kick in, especially on those the left-hand side of the car. This being a clockwise track, the left-hand side of the car does take the punishment, although Bloomfield has got a lot closer to Grasshopper. So we're just going to stick with Bloomfield at the minute as we go under the bridge into turns 8 and 9, the right then left, before heading to, oh, what a fantastic exit Bloomfield got there. He really got on the power very, very early. Fantastic exit. He's up to turn 10 first. And gets that move done, uses the softer compound. Now I've just noticed that Nath is into the pit, so he's done his minimum 3 on the hard tyres, as we're following Bloomfield as he tries to make his way through the pack. He's just got by a Grasshopper on the harder compound tyres though, so wasn't really going to fight that one very hard. So Nath into the pits then. He's going to switch to the soft tyres as everybody else streams through. Dan has stayed out. The fuel is starting to flash, so Dan will be coming in at the end of this lap. Gower has stayed out as well. He's got a little bit more fuel. It'd be interesting to see whether he comes in. But both Dan and Gower. Oh, Dan. Oh, what's happened to Dan? That is not what you want to be doing when you're leading this race. Let's see what happens here. Goes through turn 3, then turn 4. It's very tight there. Very tight indeed. Did well to miss the wall there as we come up to 6 and 7. Everything looking okay actually so far. Oh no, the back end wanted to carry on coming round, didn't it? But Dan managed to catch it. Had a bit of a scrape with the barrier on the left hand side, but maybe lost a tenth or two. Excuse me, but no real damage done. Quick look behind us and yeah, Gower's not in sight, so no real damage done there for Dan, but maybe a little bit of a wake-up call for him. Maybe just losing a bit of concentration, which is very easy to do when you're racing on your own. Your mind tends to wander about redecorating the bathroom or tidying the garden or clearing that garage out. Oh no, that's just me, isn't it? Sorry. But your mind does tend to wander a bit. So Dan is going to come into the pits. He's got to, because he's never going to do one more lap. So Dan is coming in. Remember, Nath has already made a pit stop. Where is Nath? He's down in 9th at the minute. So Dan into the pits. He's going to change onto some softer tyres. Gower's followed him in as well. He's going to change onto the softer tyres. So where is Stubbs and Nath? So Stubbs has just gone around turns 8 and 9. Nath is just coming up towards turn 10. So I think Dan should be able to get, yeah, Dan should be able to get out before Nath gets there, or will he? Now then, let's have a look at the fuel situation. Dan only put 83 litres in. Gower. Oh, he's putting a bit more in. Gower's going for a little bit more fuel. Now, Nath, has he got past them both? Let's have a look. It's showing that Nath is in 7th. Dan is in 8th. Dan is just coming out. and just slots in behind Nath Gower. He's just coming out the pits now. All of these guys on the soft tyres, and this is where the fight for the championship is. And look at Dandan right up the chuff of Nathan, putting the pressure on him. So Dandan absolutely gunning for it now. Now then, the guys up ahead, we will start at the top. Mika, he's going to have to come in. Brian Moncarney's going to come in. Bloomfield, he's got one more stop to make, I think. Grasshopper, he's going to have to come in as well. So has Silly Shot and P. White. So all of the guys ahead of Nath have got to come into the pits to make their final stop. Nath, Dandan and Gower have just done that. So Nath looks like when the guys come into the pits, he should be able to retake the lead of this race. He's got traffic ahead of him, so this is going to get interesting. The blue flags will be waving for those guys very shortly. No, they won't about. No, they won't, because Nath is in 7th and of course P. White is in 6th. There's no blue flags. They're all just going to dive into the pits very soon. I'm getting myself all excited now. I thought that, yeah, there we go, look. Into the pits goes Mika, Brian Moncarney, Bloomfield, Grasshopper has stayed out, Silly Shot, he's stayed out as well. Let's have a look, let's have a look, let's have a look. P. White moves up into 3rd, Nath in 4th, Dandan 5th. This is going to be interesting because Grasshopper has got to switch to the softer compound tyres. So has Silly Shot. P. White, he's already had the I think he's already had, no, he's had the hard, didn't he? P. White, he's on the hards, wasn't he? So he's got the soft tyres to come as well. Nath at the minute sitting in 4th. He's in a good position actually, is Nath, to take the win in this race. He has got Dandan chasing him down. Dandan just seems to have dropped off the back of Nath actually a little bit. He was a bit closer, wasn't he? And just keep your eye in the background for Gower. We're looking for that green car, and I think he's just too far back to be seen by Dandan at the minute. We'll just go on board with Gower. Oh, there we go. We just caught a glimpse of the back of Dandan's car, I think it was. Yeah, there he is, just up ahead. So Dandan just about to hit turn 10 at the hairpin. Gower is just making his way up there now. You can see the purple sectors coming in now for Gower. As we go through sector 2, heading down towards sector 3 in the end of this lap 20. So 9 more laps to go after this. Quick look behind as well. Gower really is all on his lonesome, isn't he? It doesn't like me because he's even got to turn 10. Yeah, he's just about to get to turn 10 now as Gower comes towards the end of the casino straight. Some more into the pits. Grasshopper, Silly Shot, P. White all into the pit as Gower goes through that final chicane at turn 13 and 14. Foot firmly on the noisy pedal across the start finish line. He takes the fastest lap, a 1:37.5 into turn 1 and turn 2. Now we're going to have a quick look behind us, and there's nobody coming out the pitch yet, so it is Nath, Dandan, Gower 1, 2 and 3 at the minute. So Gower just really needs to concentrate on catching up to the 2 guys ahead of him. Mika's gone through to take up P4. Then he's got Brian Moncarney just behind him. Bloomfield in 6. He's now changed onto the mediums. Oh, as Grasshopper comes out, it is side by side now as Bloomfield and Grasshopper battle it out for P6. As they head towards turns 3 and 4, it is Bloomfield just getting his nose in front of Grasshopper. Grasshopper just fresh out of the pit. Bloomfield with slightly warmer tyres. Grasshopper on the softs though, so as soon as he gets a little bit of warmth into them, the grip should kick in and he should be able to get by Bloomfield, but Bloomfield will not make it easy for him. This is great stuff. Now we've got a battle on our hands. Grasshopper chasing Bloomfield down as we head towards turn 8 and 9. We're just going to go under the bridge into the braking zone. There we go, brake lights on for Bloomfield. Very tight entry into that chicane. And then it is Foot on the accelerator all the way through to turn 10 at the hairpin before getting on the brakes again, getting that car slowed right down. In fact, it goes down to about 35 miles an hour to turn that hairpin. Back on the power again. Bloomfield looks like he got a good exit out of turn 10, so Grasshopper, nothing he can do about it at the minute. He's definitely not going to get close enough to Bloomfield to make a move on him into the final chicane. So a little bit of a gap opened up there for Bloomfield, although it should squeeze up a little bit now as they get into this chicane. And do you know what? We've not seen anybody hit that wall yet. I say we've not seen it. It may have happened, but we've definitely not seen it. Where is P. White? P. White, he's having his own little fight with Silly Shot as they cross the start-finish line to start a lap 22. Silly Shot getting a little bit closer to P. White. P. White on the soft tyres. Silly Shot also on the soft tyres. Some of the guys will be glad to see the back of those Jags. I'm sure there are some that absolutely love them. The racing has been fantastic this season in these Jags, I've got to say. I said it at the beginning and I'll say it again, thank you to every one of the drivers that have taken part, even the guys that are not here, Harry Poppins, Chuck, to name a couple that have not made it for the final races. But the racing has been absolutely brilliant. So we're just following Silly Shot as he tries to get by P. White. Let's sit in the passenger seat, so we've not really done much of this kind of camera view, have we, the old passenger seat? We can see Grasshopper, he's just gone around turn 10 now. P. White just ahead of us. Silly Shot, oh, and Silly Shot really taking a good old chunk out of that turn at 11. They call it turn 11, it's really a turn, is it? That was turn 12 as we've just gone through there. Again, not really a turn. And then it is going to be hard onto the brakes as you get to around about the 100-metre board. Across that first curb, just clipping the second curb on the inside, avoiding the wall, and then power out again. Just running across the grass on exit, across the start-finish line. Then we're into turn 1 again, and lap 23. Turn 2, again, better in that accelerator. You don't want to push the car too far to the left. Up towards turn 3 and 4. Take as much as you can out of that right-hand curb, then the left-hand curb. Cut this curb as well. Try and hug that inside wall as we head up towards turn 6. And then 7. Very, very tight chicanes. The angles on them are a lot tighter than your normal chicane, so you can't sort of straight line them at all. You do have to actually turn the wheel. This one I find is one of the hardest. It's almost a right-hander into the entry into that chicane. As we're following Silly Shot, trying to get onto the back of P. White and Grasshopper. It looks like P. White's getting a little bit closer. It looks like Bloomfield as well is within sight, just ahead, as both of these guys are getting a little bit closer to Grasshopper now. So Grasshopper is going to have to keep an eye on the mirror. Oh, we've had a change of lead and I've missed it. Let's go back and see. Wow, it's a long wait, so I do apologise for that. Oh, it must have been... It was at the start-finish line, so it's a long way back. I'm sorry about that, guys. So Dandan, as they cross the start-finish line, Dandan just gets... He must have got a much better exit out of that final chicane and manages to get in front of Nath, and he looks like he's wrestling that Jag around these turns. Nath looked a little bit smoother, but Dandan has got himself in front and has got the job done. So great stuff from Dandan to take the lead of this race. Tyres are looking about the same, but look who's in the background. It is Gower, has done a fantastic job to catch up to the back of these two guys. So while they've been fighting away, Gower's crept up to the back of them, and Gower, well, he wants the win. He wants to go out in a blaze of glory, doesn't he? Well, he's got plenty of time to do it. We've got 6 laps ahead of us, and Gower is now in this fight. Nath would have seen him in his mirror first. Dandan will be aware that Gower's there, because he would have had a message over the radio to tell him that he's creeping up to the back of them. Gower's got the fastest lap as well, on 1:37.2, and he's just clocking up purple sectors as well as we get into turn 10, back onto the power, onto this straight. So Gower into the slipstream of Nath. Nath picking up a little bit of slip from Dan, but it's not going to be as powerful as the one that Gower's getting, because Gower is a lot closer. We're just going to stick with these 3 for the next few turns to see what happens here. Now then, as we get down towards the final chicane, It is going to be Dan hitting it first with Nath second, Gower third. Nothing doing there, but a decent exit is what you want from here. Nobody scrapes the wall, so they all got through there really well. Dan, let's do one of these views so we can have a look and see what's happening behind us as we get through turn one. Pretty evenly spaced out, a couple of car lengths gap between all of them. I think Dan at the minute is the one that's going to be sweating the most, because he's the one that's got to try and keep the others behind him. Oh, and the slightest mistake and he knows that they will pounce on him. Nath just following Dan's lines, which is not always a good thing, because if Dan goes off, you tend to follow him. But I'm speaking from experience there. But at the minute, it is Dan leading Nath and Gower in third. But what a race Gower has. First lap, he got taken out by Mika. A little nudge, not intentional, I know, but it was a little nudge at turns, I think it was 5 or 6, something like that, which put him all the way to the back. In 9th or 10th, Mika was the other guy that stopped, because he did pull over, he did the right thing and stopped. So Gower was at the back. He's had to fight his way through the grid, he's had to push hard, and he's managed to get himself up into P3, and well, he's pushing for the win, isn't he? Dan just opening up a bit of a gap now back to Nath as they come to the end of the straight and the end of lap 24. So 5 laps to go as Gower gets a fantastic exit out of the final chicane and catapults himself up into second ahead of Nath. I don't think it's the tyres. I don't think Nath's struggling on the tyres. No, he's not. It's just that Gower got an absolute storming exit out of that final chicane and puts himself up into second. So now he's next on the list is Dan, and what a race this would be if Gower could win this one to win the championship. We've gone from Dan being at the sharp end of this race with Gower right down there at the blunt end to now Gower threatening Dan's win. And if Gower does take the win, then that is his championship won. So he's going to carry on pushing. We're just going to have a look further down, see what's happening. Mika, oh, Mika getting a little bit squirrely there as he came out of turn 3. Managed to hold on to it though. Let's have a look. Brian Moncani, he's all on his own in 5th. Bloomfield in 6th. He's got a decent gap back to P. White in 7th. Grasshopper is in 8th. Tyres starting to show a little bit of wear, but they should be okay to the end of the race for Grasshopper. Normally very good at looking after his tyres is Grasshopper. Then we've got Silly Shot in 9th. Oh, having a little bit of a scrape with the barrier as well, so you can see how much Silly Shot is pushing. And then we've got Stubbs down in 10th. Stubbs never really got into this race, did he? Started well, we got himself up to P3 on the first lap. And then I'm not sure if he had an incident or not, but he just seemed to find himself at the back. He made a pit stop, and that was that. He never really got back into the race. So let's have a look. His fastest lap, his last lap, was a 37.6. So about a second off the pace of, and the fastest lap at the minute now goes to Mika, a 136.7. So Mika on a charge. Stubbs is about a second, just over a second slower than Mika's fastest. So Stubbs, now he's on those soft tyres. They've got some heat in them. He's starting to clock up some decent lap times now, but he's just left it a bit too late. He's just too far behind. Now then, we've had an oil change at the top. Oh, I keep missing it, don't I? As soon as I leave, let's have a look. As soon as I leave and look at somebody else, something happens. Come on, guys, behave. Wait till I'm watching you. So we left it with Dan out in the lead with Gower in second, but Gower's making the move on him as they get towards the hairpin. Gower going to go all the way around the outside. Oh, and Dan, he slowed it down too much, I think. I think he was more worried about hitting Gower, and I think he just hit the brakes a bit too hard. Virtually stopped that Jaguar on the apex, but Gower manages to carry on going all the way around the outside and gets himself into the lead. Dan though tucks into the middle. Look at this, he's in a Jaguar sandwich as they get down towards the chicane, and yeah, quite rightly so. Oh, the guy's really taking it easy through there. Nath just giving Dan a bit of a hurry up there as he goes through the chicane. He got nowhere to go with Nath except to give Dan a little bit of a nudge. Into turn one we go, and this is so tight. You would struggle to get a bit of paper between the two of them as Gower always starts to get a bit of a slide going, but caught it just in time, has managed to stay in front of Dan, although Dan's on the inside. Is he going to risk it? This is fantastic stuff from these boys. Oh, and Dan's gone. Dan's gone. Oh, I've gone back too far, but who cares? This is fantastic racing. We love it, don't we? What happened to Dan? We're into turn one. As I was saying, you can hardly get a bit of paper between them. It was a very slight touch there on Gower. Maybe that's what's sort of upset the car a little bit. He managed to keep his nose in front though. Dan in second. They were going to go too wide into the first of these chicanes. And let's have a look what happened to Dan. Oh, the back end just carried on round on him. Just too much power too early and scraped the wall. That's allowed Nath through, so it is Nath's turn now to attack Gower. Dan just got to take a deep breath, try and compose himself. He's still got 3 laps to go, so he should be able to catch up, although the 2 guys ahead are racing away. He doesn't want to let them get too far, does he? Nath now trying to put Gower under a bit of pressure as we go through turn 8 and 9, the third of the chicanes, up towards the hairpin, the island hairpin at turns 10. Followed very, very closely by turn 11. Gower trying to take that tighter line, doesn't want to give Nath any opportunity to get by him at all. And now what we got now, probably a couple of car lengths gap, maybe more than that actually now. Gower just seemed to take off like a scolded cat out of the exit of turn 10. Nath struggling to keep up. Let's have a look. Tyre wear's okay. Basically identical, same as the fuel. Dan, yeah, again about the same, although Dan pushing hard now to try and catch up to the back of the 2 guys battling away ahead. Now then, are you going to behave yourself so I can see what else is happening? Don't go overtaking each other. Mika is in 4th, all on his lonesome. Brian Moncarney also on his lonesome. He's sitting there in 5th, but this is a much, much better result from Brian Moncarney. Bloomfield in 6th. P. White 7th. Then we've got Silly Shot. He's having a good old battle with Grasshopper. Silly Shot moves up into 8th. Grasshopper down in 9th. And Stubbs in 10th. So a good little battle developing between Silly Shot and Grasshopper towards the end of this race as we start lap 27. 3 laps to go then in this final race of our Prop Up and Co Sunday Championship. We're back up to the top, and Gower starting to open up a little bit of a lead. It's still not massive, and Nath could still catch him up and still take the win, although the tyres are going to start to hurt these guys now. The front left, the rear left, they're about 50% worn on all 3, so the guy's going to have to be a little bit careful going through some of these turns, especially these chicanes. This is where the mistakes start to happen. This is where the back end starts to come around and catch you out. All 3 guys running traction control as well, and I absolutely don't blame them, especially at this stage of the race. Dan is making grounds on Nathan Gower. He is starting to catch up. Remember, he's 2nd in the championship. Let's just have a look. I put my notes down somewhere. So Gower is actually leading with Dan in 2nd, and Nath is in 3rd. Now Nath is, well, he's 41 points off the back of Dan, so if it stays like this, Dan should definitely take 2nd, with Nath taking 3rd. So it looks like these 3 could gain promotion if it stays like this, and there is absolutely no reason why it shouldn't. Mika in 4th. Had a good season as Mika. He's had some very close battles as well throughout the season, but stuck in there, and this is going to be a good result for him in 4th. He'll be pleased with that. Same with Brian Moncarney getting 5th. I'm sure he'll be pleased with that as the light starts to fade. Look at that, what a view. That orange sky is fantastic, isn't it? Brian Moncani in 5th. I'm sure he's not looking at the view. We've got Bloomfield in 6th. Behind him is P. White in 7th. Silly Shot in 8th. And Grasshopper just dropping off the pace now. He was a lot closer to Silly Shot, wasn't he? But he's now all on his lonesome in 9th, with Stubbs in 10th, also all on his own. But they're going to see this race out. Tyres starting to hurt now, so mistakes could start to slip in as the fuel lights come on now, as they start the last lap, so they should be okay. So just under 3 miles to go before the final of this race, and it is Gower leading Nath, who is then leading Dandan, all 3 with worn tyres, all 3 with only a little bit of fuel left in the car. It all comes down to if anybody makes a mistake, I think, because if they all stay clean and on the tarmac, then this looks like this is how it could finish. Dan would desperately like to move up a place and get himself on the second step of the podium. He would desperately love Gower to crash so that he could get by him and take the win. So would Nath. But at the minute, as they go through 8 and 9 and head towards, oh, now then, what's happened there? Because Nath seems to have gone a bit slower as we come out of that turn. Dan has got right up alongside of him almost into turn 10. Nath going to go the long way round. Dan taking the much tighter line, although it does look like Nath got a good exit. So the race is on now, just down the straight. Gower out in front, looks like the race is his. He just needs to cross that finish line and the championship is all his. Nath in the background, he's in second with Dan in third. Dan, is he going to make a move? Oh, we're gonna watch Gower cross the line, and then we're going to come back to them two, because that is going to be one hell of an ending, I think. Or is it? Gower, are we going to get a flash of the lights to celebrate? Yes, Gower, Nath and Dan. Well, they all went very slowly. Well, not quite sure what was that all about. He's oddly moving. Is he waiting for the guys to catch him up? But then Nath slows down as well, and so does maybe it had agreed something or other, I don't know, between the 3 of them, but well done. Mika, flash of the lights, he's loving it, isn't he? Look at that, across the line for Mika in 4th, well done. Brian Moncani, a flash of the lights and a spectacular finish for him as usual. Or not, are we going to see him slide across the line? No, he's just happy with the 5th. Bloomfield is going to get 6th, flash of the lights from him, yeah, well done to Bloomfield. Silly Shot across the line in 7th with P. White in 8th. Grasshopper around that final turn. Do we get a flash of the lights from Grasshopper? No, he just wants to get off and have a cup of tea, doesn't he? With Stubbs finishing in 10th. Well, he's out of fuel, so somebody's going to have to run out there and give him a push across the line. Brilliant stuff from these guys all season. Thank you very much for the entertainment. Thank you to you guys for watching. I've really enjoyed your company. We will be back. Obviously, we will be back with a new season in, oh, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. We have plenty of other stuff going on. We've got our Wednesday season, which is in full flow now. We've got the Academy on Mondays. We have got the BTCC, or it's soon to be the American Muscle Cars, actually, on a Thursday. So there is still plenty going on. So if you do want to get involved in the Ultimate Racing League, check us out on Facebook, URL, Ultimate Racing League on Facebook. We are on Discord. We are on TikTok. We are everywhere. So you can always just drop me a comment in the box below and we can get you in touch with the admin guys. And hopefully see you on track in the brand new Sunday season, which is our main event on our calendar. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed these things, please remember to hit that like button. And I shall catch up with you all very soon. Take care.